going to learn something new by my experience in that particular space. So I'm going to learn this horse is a gelding, right? Just by your definition of horses and so on, you actually have to physically notice that this particular horse is there exists an X that is a horse that is also a gelding, right? There you go, right? So all through history, thanks to Aristotle, we've had the universal statements and the particular statements. And all through logic, those were treated separately. In this particular essay, which was 1952, Willard Van Orman Quine points out that, let me go back. I really should explore that. Yeah, I should give you that link so that you can have a look at that article. It's pretty short. It is Quine, so it is difficult, but it might be good for you to at least familiarize yourself with it. But what he points out is that if I take a universal statement and I negate the quantifier, actually, let me start again. Let me just take a universal statement. And if I apply a rule which he calls quantifier exchange, these are analytic, these are synthetic, right? Two dogmas essentially of empiricism. Well, if I negate this quantifier and then I'm going to have to write. How does the rule work? For anything you pick, whatever, right? That is equivalent to, it's not the case that for anything you pick, that it's not that. Actually. So here you go. For anything you pick, this is the case, right? If I negate this, I say, instead of for anything you pick, this is the case, I say it's not the case that there exists anything, even one thing, that is not this. Is that the equivalent to this?
No. They're two different statements.
They're two different statements. But what do they mean? For anything you pick, this is the case.
Right. I'm trying to think.
I'm saying that it's not the case. If that's true, it's not the case that there is something that is not that.
Oh.
See?
Yes, I mean, that is true. That's a true statement.
Yeah, I mean,
That is a true statement.
Yeah,
right?
I think I worded it differently.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. That's why I had to write it down to remind myself. Oh, wait, how's it go? I probably should actually find a screen where you get, actually, why not? I'm sure that it's there. It's my aged brain forgetting that the internet has everything, right? So let's just say examples of quantifier exchange. There's actually other ways of talking about it. Now that looks, oh, I'm under videos? No, I'm under all. That's interesting. Why am I getting mostly videos explaining this? Oh, let's see, maybe he has, oh, that's rather difficult. He's got the proofs for it, so let's not go there. Let me just stick with this, because at least I can explain it. And now I'm going to go to the next one and point out that whenever I say, for anything you pick, well, it's not this, right? If I were to say, actually, there's multiple ways that this can work. So if I put a negation sign in front of here, what's that going to be equivalent to? If it's not the case that for anything you pick, this is the case. The way the rule works is I double the negation over here, which using double negation, that means it's the same as no negation. So I would say that there exists an x such that it is not, oops. It's not this.
I see.
And then I can go like this. I can take for anything you pick. For anything you pick, it's not one of these. That's equivalent to saying it's not the case that there exists one that is that.
Outside of that.
You think it's not the same? Or that is?
For anything you pick, it's not this. For anything you pick, everything in the world, it's not this. That means that you're not going to find any individual one that is that.
Right, I see.
Right? These are logically equivalent, right? I can take not the case X, not the case this, and that's equivalent to there exists an X such that it is this, right? So if it's not the case that for everything you pick, anything you pick, it's not this, that means there is one.
Right.
So Quine has demonstrated that the analytic statements are equivalent to synthetic statements. So that Aristotle on down throughout history until 1952 has been wrong in thinking that there's a distinction between what we know as definitions and what we experience in a particular situation.
Yes.
And besides becoming instantly famous, which he did, right? That's when he became famous, Quine. And that's why, even though it's certainly still under copyright, it looks like you could actually go and read the whole thing on multiple places on the internet, because this is like too important to make you have to pay for it.
So in Quine's theory, does that mean that no more universals?
No, we still use them.
Yeah.
We still need all of this in language, but now we know
That it changes.
that pragmatism is the right philosophy. Quine is a neo-pragmatist, and essentially what pragmatists will argue is that even though we have these definitions of a horse, I've got to be always ready to change my definition if a particular situation warrants it. We've got to be always ready to adapt. We've got to be pragmatic. We can't be, absolutely insistent that, things have to remain this way. On that note, I'm going to have to quit, but I'm going to give you a quiz question. Because this has an impact on the way we speak. And once you study logic, and theoretically you're in a logic course, you're studying logic. If you're not studying logic and you're in a logic course, that's my fault. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But here's the problem. We frequently say things like, when you come into the room, and when I first came in this morning, nobody's here. What's wrong with that? Nobody is here.
You're there.
I'm here, and I'm somebody. So the way we speak, and we do some things like that all the time, if you plug that into a computer,
Oh, that's interesting.
It gets confused.
your computer's gonna go, sorry, Dave.
Oh, by the way. I don't know if you get it.
Okay, so we're looking at a shirt that has,
It's 2001
oh,
Space
it's from 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's,
Where this
it's the summary of the whole movie.
I watched it. I was like,
You're like,
It's the
"Nah, I never
whole
seen
movie.
it."
This is
Spoiler.
Spoiler, my back.
This is, no, yeah, you have to be careful what you tell a computer, especially now that computers are going to take over for us. And our big question is, you know, how do we need our computers, our AI computers, to be ethical so that they don't destroy us and do mean and nasty things to us, right? Well, our first problem is we don't know the answer to Euthyphro
Yeah.
ourselves, let alone how we can tell our computers to behave. We're still fighting over how we should behave ourselves.
Well, just because there's disagreement doesn't mean there isn't an answer.
No, that's where
Yeah,
I
so-
keep butting heads. I don't think there's a better best goal.
That's why you
No,
guys.
I'm saying just because there is disagreement does not mean there is not an answer.
If there's no better best ultimate, there is no answer.
Well, I'm not.
That's why you guys
I don't grant that.
have to keep studying this stuff. So, did I ask the quiz question? The quiz question is, how would you translate that in a way that it actually makes sense? Nobody's here for the quiz question. So I walk into
How
the
would you
room
say
and I
it?
said, nobody's
Oh, I
here.
see.
That's obviously false. If I were going to write that into the computer program to explain that in symbols, how would I do it?
Oh, I see.
How would I do that
How would I
in
explain
symbols?
this?
I would have to indicate that, except for me, no one else is here. Well, I'll let you think it out. And by the way, I'd be amazed if anybody actually comes close to what computers would have to have. But it'd be fun for you to try it out. This is an explore. Okay, questions for me? How are you guys doing? And the folks in the Zoom session?
Were you going to say anything about the syllabus? Or do you just have it up?
I had it up because I think I'm on track. I think what I'm doing with this all was about was according to the syllabus, at least as I understood it. So I think I'm behaving the way I'm supposed to. Was this fun? I don't know if it'll help you with your LSAT, but you know, it helps us move into this stuff. Because if you're doing logic today, you probably already realize no one's going to be doing Aristotelian syllogisms, except for the LSAT. The LSAT might give you a bunch of them. But if you're required to actually write a symbolic logic expression of your thesis, this is the kind of language you would have to use, not syllogisms, which would be excruciatingly difficult, actually. Yeah. Okay. Fun? I'll see you on Thursday, which is the day after tomorrow. Not sure we'll be here. You know, my inductive reasoning tells me every day I've woken up, we're still here.
Granted.
So a good inductive argument says we will be here on Thursday.
Every day awake, right?
Of course, another inductive argument is, you know, that none of the days that I've woken up are tomorrow.
So you're perpetually in the present.
So another really good inductive argument is that I won't be here tomorrow.
Nobody's ever there tomorrow. See you later.
Okay, thank you guys. And it looks like I'm the only one left anyway. Okay, so everyone went away. And so I can, now on this one, I have to go here,
Yeah,
and I have to go here,
yeah.
and I have to go to these 3 dots. I would have never found that.
Sign up.
And sign out. And I can turn this off.